Hi, and thanks again for joining on MTV. Today I'm going to talk about how to design with eco when renovating, being eco-friendly. And obviously when we are looking to renovate, the first thing that comes to mind is we think of all the decorative things, the luxuries, the things we want it to look like, all the glamour piece, and that's normal. We think about what we'd like to live in, but we forget about how we're going to live in this place. And a lot of the time people renovate, start to live in the place and they go, geez, these bills that we're paying are very high, and energy costs are only on the increase. We used to say there are only two certain things in life, death and taxes. Well, there's three. Energy costs as well are going that way, and they will continue to go that way forever and a day. So this is the time when you are planning for your renovation, think about the eco side of it, because this is where you can ensure that your living expense budget stays on budget and you live within your means, and you're not actually adding cost to life after the initial renovation. So the first one to think about is insulation. In most cases, people insulate, or if you've got a builder doing insulation, to the absolute minimum to be compliant with the building standard. And I get that. However, what's out of sight is out of mind. If you're aware of what is available to you, you can go over and above the minimum, and that little bit of investment will make a big difference down the track, because when you absorb heat and cold into a home and you've got air conditioners running, those bills go high. So this is the time to actually think about and ask the questions about insulation. So if you've got a builder or a renovator doing the work for you, ask that question, ask about what it's going to give you, and find out what's available to you if you go above that. It might not be double, it might be 10, 20, 30% more on the insulation cost that you're investing in, but that could save you big time, and you get payback on that after 6 months to 2 years in that home. So think about that part. So the next one is making it airtight. Air gaps, believe it or not, are one of the biggest culprits in homes that create homes to be colder or hotter than what they actually should be. And this is one of the things I've seen. I've travelled a lot overseas, and when I'm over in Europe, you see double glazed windows and the way they treat air gaps a lot more vigorously what we do in this country. And we could get this right, but we just allow ourselves to ignore it. And this is going to add to those costs with air conditioner. And actually, even if you spent the time and the money to get your insulation better and over and above, as I mentioned before, if you don't approach these air gaps as you should, you're going to find that it's going to hurt. So as I said, double glazed windows and glass doors keep cool and warmth as you need it, and you control that temperature a lot better. So sealing the perimeter windows and door seals is so important. It's a matter of asking, again, if you've got a builder, what's available, or if you're planning this yourself, find it out. Yes, double glazed windows do cost more than single, but the fact is they help with both noise, but particularly with heat and cold, and they help complement anything you're doing with insulation, and then you're going to have a compound effect where you're actually reducing the outside air coming in a lot quicker than what it is at the moment. So I'm sure you've heard this one before, but LED lights, and how many times we look at LED lights and when we're renovating and we think, oh, I'll just put it in the main area, or they go to all the decorative look, getting the paint and the floors as they want. We don't go to the extra step of getting the LED lights in the home where they need to be. Particularly those rooms where you're using light all the time, living areas, kitchen areas, etc. Bathrooms as well. So take the time to invest in that. They are costing you a little bit more at the start. However, there is absolutely no doubt on their energy saving over time, and this will help, again, bring those energy bills down within the home when you're living in it, and it keeps your budget of living where you want it to be. Now the fourth one is something that, again, is overlooked in the renovation stage, and one of our Monster go-to pros that actually spoke to me about this directly and mentioned how people overlook things like vegetation outside when they're renovating and don't think of how they can complement energy savings by planning outside. And it's not a typical thought for a renovation, it doesn't come first to mind. But particularly when you've got open areas outside, things like trees can help keep the shade on roofs or on balconies, particularly in the areas of the day where you've got strong sun. And that is all going to help reduce the amount of heat absorbed into the home, or keeps the frost off those areas as well in the winter times. And so we need to think about how we can utilise vegetation externally. It could even be shade it's giving to a feature wall that actually absorbs a lot of warmth. These are things that actually all contribute to heat that gets absorbed into the home, and air conditioning costs that go up in the summertime. So think about how you can use nature. Now, of course, you're not going to put a tree right next to a gutter because of the bushfire laws and how the regulations we've got. It's got to be sensible, it's got to be compliant, but it's got to be a thought that you plan ahead and see what's available. And again, if your builder can help you, they should be able to do that. If you're doing this on your own, you can even check with council, and there's a lot of good advice on what you can do there. If you want advice away from councils and the real deal, come to the Monster Pros on GoTo, because we can help you with your designs on this and ensure all the other eco tips that are available to you are implemented into your plan with the renovation, because this is where the real dollars are saved. Again, plan from the start. Doesn't just help you with the renovation and build when you're doing it then, it's when you're living in that home. And if you are building a home to flip or to sell, there's a lot of tenants now and a lot of buyers that are very, very astute, and are looking for things like this when they invest in a home. And they will look for things like LED lights in the house, how it's been planned, how it's been designed. And you have homes that have got double glazed windows and good seals around doors. These are the sorts of astute things that people are now trained by eye to look for when they're investing, and that will help you maximise your dollar when you're selling. So don't think about it's going to be just a waste because I'm going to flog this off to some sucker. It doesn't work like that. You need to ensure that we're passing on generational homes to help the environment, help the rest of the country, and people will actually share that through and benefit from it. Got any comments or photos? I'd love to see them. We'll get hold of our Monster GoTo Pros or the crew for your 10-minute consult. We're here to help. Until next time, I'll see you on MTV.